Okay, shalom. Right, I've got this particular phrase from Tehillim 118, verse 17. I shall not die but live to declare the works of God. Right, so there's a reason why I chose this verse. It's because I'm actually suffering from COVID, and it's just an horrendous, but it's an horrendous virus, and it's horrendous physically, and it's definitely horrendous emotionally. Because obviously it makes you think about death, which is not that nice. But so this is a phrase that came to me as like a meditation. Just meditate on this phrase again and again, and lift yourself up out of this horrible low place where you're at. So I shall not die but live to declare the works of God. Let's go and have a look at this, because it's absolutely wonderful. So we've got this then. This is how it's written in the Tanach. Okay, I have repeated this over and over again. Okay. Lo amuth ki echye we asaper ma'aseh ya. Okay, just as a meditation, because when you are battling something so horrendous as this virus, you really need to cling to some powerful verses, and this to me is a very powerful verse. Because that's why I want to live. I want to live to tell the deeds of God. It's exactly how I feel. That's my life. I want to live so I can speak of all these wonderful things of God, for definite. Anyway, so it comes to 1,344 regular plus 234 ordinally, and that comes to 1,548 together. Okay, let's go and have a look at some of these wonderful gematria around this then. So straight away we've got a link here. I am he, I am first, yea, I am last. So that comes to 1,098 plus 216, and together they come to 1,314. So exactly the same. So we've got a massive link between this and between this particular phrase, and this is from Isaiah 48:12. Hearken to me, O Yaakov and Israel, who was called by me. I am he, I am first, yea, I am last. Okay, ani erishon af ani acharon. Okay, so that's lovely, a lovely connection there between this and between that. There is only Yoteva. He is first and he is last. There's nothing other than him. Okay, but this is another interesting thing. 1,098 is a man of reproach. Ishcher path. That comes to 999 regular, which is El Shaddai spelt out, the 999 footsteps of Moshiach ben Yosef. And then 99 is quite significant. If you times it by 10, for example, it comes to 990. And 990 is Moshiach ben Yosef plus Moshiach ben David, when David is spelled ordinary. So it comes to 324 plus 566 comes to 990. Okay, so we've got a connection there as well. This whole concept of Moshiach ben Yosef connected to I am he, I am first, yeah, I am last. And Yeshua said, he said something along, I am the first and I am the last, or I'm the alpha and the omega. So we can see quite clearly connected to this concept of I am he, I am first, yeah, I am last. There is a definite connection between that and the concept of Moshiach ben Yosef. Okay, so we know that this is Yoteva, but we can see that this revelation of Yoteva is connected to a revelation of Moshiach ben Yosef. Let's go and have a look. So we've also got Joshua ben Nun. So 656. Joshua ben Nun comes to 549 plus 108 ordinally. And that together comes to 657. So 2 times that is 1,314. So we can see there's a connection there also. And he's Yoshu ben Nun, according to Kol Hatar, is an appellation for Moshiach ben Yosef, so there's definite relationship there as well. Let's have a look as well. And then we've got this concept, and the ransomed of Zion shall return, because 657 is 3 times 219. Okay, so that's 3 times 219. This is obviously going to be 6 times 219. Okay, so there's a relationship there through the multiple 219. Okay, we know the ransomed of Zion shall return. Ransom means you pay the pidyon. That's this is the word ransomed basically means, you know, you buy back. Just this concept about buying back the soul of Moshiach from the place to which he's been sold, Edomite slavery. And then we've got this here, Moshiach ben David, 424, plus David 14, also comes to 438. 438 is 2 times 219. Okay, so when we redeem back the ransomed of Zion, and Zion is an appellation for Moshiach ben Yosef, because Zion has exactly the same gematria as Yosef. And Kol Hatar, Vilna Gaon pointed out that this concept here, the ransomed of Zion shall return, is an appellation of Moshiach ben Yosef. It's written about in the book Kol Hatar, Voice of the Turtle Dove. So we can see that there's a direct relationship between this concept of Moshiach ben Yosef and Moshiach ben David through, obviously, this number here is 2 times Moshiach ben David plus David. Okay, so we've got a direct relationship there, and like I say, this relates back to here as well, because 3 times this is 1314. Okay, right, let's think what else we've got. Okay, so we've got this Bitten. This is make yourself a serpent. You know, when the children of Israel were getting bitten by the serpents, and Moshe made the copper serpent and put it on his staff, the word bitten in that particular phrase, Numbers 21:8, comes to 381, 57 ordinally, which is HaMoshiach, the Moshiach. Together they come to 438. Okay, so we can see a direct relationship between all these concepts. And this is obviously, there's a big connection between this concept of Moshiach ben Yosef, because even Yeshua said, just as Moshe lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, so too the Son of Man must be lifted up. Okay, so we know there's a relationship between this and Moshiach ben Yosef, and even Yeshua made reference to it. Plus, we have got to understand that in exile we have a delusion regarding the concept of Mashiach. We are fueled by fantasy fiction, so we have got a mixture of some truth and some error, and it's our error regarding Mashiach that ultimately bites us in exile. And we are bitten by our false concept of Moshiach. And it's when we transform that darkness into revelation, then we have healing. Sometimes you need to lift up the stupidity that you believe in, and then you've got to see how foolish it is, your false understanding of Mashiach, and that can sometimes be a cure, you know. But we have to work very hard to reveal the truth regarding Mashiach. Okay, I've gone over that concept many times. Okay. 381, which is for this, is 3 times 127. 127 is Yeshua filled out to the highest level of Atziluth. That means when the Vav is filled with the Yud. Okay, so again, this is the holy opposite, isn't it? A revelation of Yeshua being the Mashiach is the holy opposite from being bitten, as is a revelation of Moshiach ben David. It's wholly opposite this. That's what we need to get to. That's why I say when you've got opposite the Moshiach is the Nachash. So if you haven't got a true concept of Moshiach, you're going to have a Nachash that bites. Okay, you are going to be bitten. So we've got to work very hard to reveal the truth about Moshiach ben David, especially about Moshiach ben Yosef. Look, he's the holy opposite. If we don't get him right, you're going to get bitten. And we know it's about the HaMoshiach. Look. So we have got to overwhelm our delusion with the truth. Okay. Yeshua plus Mashiach ordinally also comes to 338. Okay. And to follow other gods which you did not know from Deuteronomy 11:28 comes to 2,100 regular, 309 ordinally. That's 2,409. And which is 11 times 219. So all the purple numbers, there's a relationship between them all, they're all multiples. Okay, so we can see even that, to follow other gods which you did not know. So we can see how there is some relationship between all these concepts, and this is obviously the unholy opposite, you know. Because what can happen is, if you don't get the concept of Mashiach right, you definitely will not be serving Yoteva in truth. Because the concept of Mashiach is the light in which we see the light of the name Yoteva perfectly. You know, if you don't get that bit right, it's going to be obscured. It's going to be obscured. Okay? And you're going to have an erroneous understanding of Mashiach, and through the error you are going to have an erroneous revelation regarding the name Yoteva. Let's go and have a look at what else. Alright, this is quite interesting. This is a drill down now for the number 438, what we've just been looking at, because it's like I say, it's very much connected to the concept of Moshiach ben Yosef. He's got this incredible verse. And Yosef harnessed his chariot, and he went up to meet his father, Israel his father, to Goshen, and he appeared to him, and he fell on his neck and wept on his neck for a long time. Genesis 46:29. Right, so, and Yosef harnessed his chariot, and he went up to meet Israel his father. So basically that comes to 4 times 627. That whole verse, 2,508. And Yosef harnessed his chariot and went up to meet his father. Okay. And then you've got this next bit. So that's the first bit, isn't it? Up to Avihu, his father. And then you've got this whole next bit. So if you just jump over the word Goshna, then you've got this whole next bit up to here. Okay, and he appeared to him and fell on his neck, and he wept on his neck. Okay, that also comes to 1,254, which is this bit here, and that bit there is the regular. So the regular is 4 times 627. This bit is 2 times 627. Okay. And then this is where the 428 comes in. The two words that are not used are the Goshna and the Od. Okay. Goshna is the letters of the dreidel. Okay, we know the dreidel is all about revelation about Mashiach. So these are the letters on the dreidel outside of Eretz Israel. So Nes Gadol Hayasham. So Nes, the nun, Gadol, a great miracle, Haya, happened, Sham, there. Okay, so Nes Gadol Haya Sham, Goshna. And then we've got this word Od, which we know is very much related to the concept of Yosef, Od, Yosef, Chai. Okay, so together those two words, to Goshna and a long time, come to 438, 69 ordinally. And together they come to 576, which is 2 times 288. We're going to come back to this number. It's very significant. The reason why I've done it is because it's so significant, and it's related to this number, which is obviously very much related to the number that we're looking at. So let's go and have a look at this. I've already gone through that Bitten. It's just, I've used a slide, so we've already gone through that. This is interesting, however. The 576 to Goshna and a long time is 24 times 24, so it's a full inter-inclusion of the rectified spelling of David. I've put which includes the Yod of Moshiach ben Yosef. 576 also equals Yesod, foundation, which represents Yosef, plus Malkuth, kingdom, which it represents David. Okay, so we can see there's a unity between the concept of Moshiach ben Yosef and Moshiach ben David. These are two spheroth from the tree of life. Yesod is obviously very much connected to the concept of Malkuth, but Yesod is represented by Yosef, and like I say, Malkuth is represented by David, and both of them together come to 576, which is Moshiach ben David fully included. So we know there's always got to be a unity between the concept of Moshiach ben Yosef and Moshiach ben David. And I've put, this is when the kingdom of heaven reigns on earth, the Torah of Moshiach, the tree of life and redemption. Right, now let's go and have a look at this 627, because if we look here, we've got the ordinal of Yeshua, the ordinal of the first spelling out of Yeshua, and the ordinal of the second spelling out of Yeshua. Add them together, they come to 627. So we can see very clearly from this very, very critical text that's so related to the whole concept of Moshiach ben Yosef, is giving us a clear indication who that is. You know, a very clear indication of who that is. And like I say, the two missing letters are the revelation of Moshiach ben David, but the rest of it's the concept of Moshiach ben Yosef. So this verse basically is a concept of the unity between Moshiach ben David and Moshiach ben Yosef. Okay, also 576 is the ordinal of, now the earth was astonishingly empty and darkness was on the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God, Ruach Elohim, was hovering over the face of the water. So this is highly messianic in itself. So sages say the Spirit of God is the soul of Moshiach. Okay, and he's also hovering over the water. This is where we get the concept of the 288 lost sparks. This word hovering, me'rachefet. That is where we get the resh, chet, and peh, where we get they come to 288. The concept of the 288 sparks of holiness, and as you can see up here, 576 is 2 times 288. Okay, so a massive connection between all these concepts, and also the concept of Moshiach in exile, retrieving these lost holy sparks. Right, so it's all highly, highly messianic. Right, let's have a go and have a look at the next bit. Okay, so we're going to have a look at the total. Right, the beginning of wisdom is the fear of Yoteva. So that's from Proverbs 9:10. It comes to 1548. Okay, exactly the same as this. Okay, so we can see, obviously, we know now that this is a massive revelation of the concept of the Moshiach, and the beginning of wisdom is the fear of Yoteva. So we know that obviously anything to do with the revelation of the Moshiach ben Yosef and Moshiach ben David is going to bring about a revelation of the name Yoteva. Okay. And then we've got this, and take also from the tree, which comes to 387. 1548 is 4 times 387. 387 is Yeshua, which is 386 plus the Kalel. Okay, it's got an ordinal of 108. Together they come to 495. This, however, is taken from this verse down here. So now the Lord God said, Behold, man has become like one of us, having the ability of knowing good and evil. And now lest he stretch forth his hand and take also from the tree of life and eat and live forever. So that's Genesis 3:22. It's got an ordinal of 774. So obviously that's 2 times 387. So is a double connect to this verse. And then obviously 774 times 2 comes to 1548. And then we've got this. There's always the unholy opposite, isn't there? Wherever you've got a revelation of Moshiach, you have got doubt to battle with. And he said, For there is a hand on the throne of the Eternal, that there shall be a war for the Lord against Amalek from generation. That goes to 1161, which is 3 times 8, 387. And then we've got also Yeshu, which is the concept of Moshiach ben Yosef in exile, suffering with us, with his name erased, plus Yonah, the sign that Yeshua gave, that comes up all the time when we're revealing the truth about Moshiach ben Yosef, Moshiach ben David. Together they come to 387. Okay. And then here we've got the concept again of Weruach Elohim, Spirit of God, 306 regular, 8 to 1 ordinally, and that's Moshe filled, the ordinal of Moshe filled to the first filling, and that comes to 387 also. So we can see there's a connection between that. We've just had a look, that was part of the verse, wasn't it? And now we've seen that we was looking at from last time, from the last page. Now it's 387, so we can see a double connection to that. And then we've got, and he said, I called out from my distress to the Lord, and he answered me from the belly of the grave. So this is the whole concept of Yonah again. This is the sign. It's very significant, but that's got an ordinal of 387. And obviously the whole concept of Moshiach ben Yosef suffering with us in exile is a concept of Yonah in the belly of the whale. All of our souls have descended into a body that's really synonymous with Yonah in the belly of the whale. Okay. It says the belly of the grave here, but we know it means the belly of the whale. Right, let's have a look then what else we've got to look at. Well, we've just got another two. That 2034 has just come up on the other. It's just come up on the other. Can't go back now, I don't think, no. But anyway, let's have a look at this 234. That one, the phrase that I've just read out, about Yonah crying out from the belly of the whale, it came to an overall total, I believe, of 2034. One of the numbers in there was 2034. So we've got this again. We know that Amalek stands opposite. He's the evil opposite. So the fact that that verse represented Moshiach, I'll just go back. Just wait a minute. Right, so this phrase, where did it come? All right, it was the regular, the 2034 regular, and then 387 ordinary. So we know we've always got something evil opposite. So not only is it evil opposite here, so this is a concept of Moshiach ben Yosef suffering with his in exile, descending into the belly of the whale, to accomplish true rectification of our faith in the name Yoteva. Okay, so let's go to the next one. So we can see this comes to a regular, an ordinal of 2034, and we can see from that, and you shall remember what Amalek did to you on the way. So he stands opposite any concept of Moshiach ben Yosef. Amalek is going to be there, and we are going to have to erase his memory from under heaven in order to truly reveal the truth regarding Moshiach ben Yosef. It's very difficult. Okay, so this is a teaching that I've recently done, the whole concept of the supreme will. Okay, so the supreme will, they're the numbers for it. I don't need to go through them. I'm just pointing out that Haratzon Elion. We'll get to the next one and I'll show you. So this, we're looking at this number, the 234, which is the ordinal of this verse. So the supreme, and I did a big teaching on it to show how this relates to a unity between Moshe and Yeshua. So the word has supreme is 171 ordinarily, regularly, 63 ordinarily. They together come to 234. 234 is 2 times Yeshua filled, 2 times 117. Okay, and then just to show how there's a unity between Yeshua and Moshe, 171. So this is relating to Yeshua, and the 171 relates to Moshe. That's the ordinal of Moshe filled out. As we can see here, look, 666. Moshe, or the concept of Moshiach, is wholly opposite the evil beast. Right, so there's always one opposite the other. And then again, we've got here 53 ordinally for Yeshua, and then 118 for the first spelling out of Yeshua. Okay, add them together, they come to 171. So again, we've got unity through this concept of the supreme will between Moshe and Yeshua. Okay, we've got this other concept here, the signs of Moshiach come to 1117, okay, which is obviously connected to 234. Okay, you can see here, look, it's 5 times 234, so 5 times the ordinal of this verse, and we know that 5 times anything is a rectification of it. So we could say that you know, I shall not die but live and tell the deeds of God is somehow related to the whole concept of the Moshiach, and especially the signs of Moshiach. Okay, and one of the signs of Moshiach, the only sign he gave us, is Yonah. Okay, so we know that there's in every single time we reveal the truth regarding Moshiach, we will find that sign of Yonah. And then I shall not die but live. This is just part of it now, instead of looking at the whole one. It comes to 532 and 100. Ordinally, 632 together. 532, Yeshua filled out. I shall not die but live. This entire phrase is a revelation of Moshiach. This entire phrase is a revelation of Moshiach, because this is the ultimate. We should attain this level. I shall not die but live and tell the deeds of God. Yeah, you know, that's why we should want to live and not die. You know, but anyway, that's connected again to a revelation of Moshiach, Yeshua. Okay. Let's see what else we've got. Oh, this is it. Haman's ears. So these are what are made at Purim. These are the little pasties that are made at Purim. Haman Tashan, I think they're called, but it means Haman's ears. I think this is Yiddish, to be honest. Raman's ears. So together, 455 plus 77 ordinally comes to 532 again. So we've always got Haman is an Amalekite. He's the one that tried to kill all the Jews. In the Purim story in the book of Esther, you know, and anyway, he comes to 532. So again, what have we got opposite? We've just got Amalek opposite all the time. Amalek is always opposite. He always presents problems. He always creates doubt. He's always threatening, you know, and trying to kill a revelation of the concept of Moshiach ben Yosef. Okay, and then we've got this and every end, so that comes to 946 plus 118, and 118 is one of the fillings out of Yeshua up there, look. So 1064, and that is 532 times 2, and this is the word that follows. He sets an end to darkness. Okay, and then the next word is and every end. I might have put the verse up. I hope I have. Oh, it's not looking like I did actually. So this is the phrase. He sets an end to darkness. Kes Shem Lechoshech comes up in a revelation of the teaching, a revelation of Moshiach ben Yosef all the time. because the darkness is the doubt, and the darkness is the lies, the sheker, that surround the concept of Moshiach ben Yosef, that make it very hard for us to discern with confidence and with absolute faith that he is indeed the Moshiach. So that darkness will come to an end, and the truth will be revealed. And these are the words that follow after that phrase. He says, "an end to darkness." Then it puts "and every end." I can't remember exactly how it goes on, but you might want to look up Job 28:3. It talks about a stone and things like that, if I remember rightly. But anyway, so that comes to 532 times 2. I've put again Yeshua filled there, that's fine. And also, here we go, look, we've got this 632, I shall not die but live, directly connected to Hame'ora Katan Halayla, the moon, which we know is a revelation of Moshiach ben David. He is the moon. And also it's got an ordinal of 136, which is David's throne, Kisei David, which according to Vilna Gaon is Moshiach ben David, Moshiach ben Yosef, sorry. And then 632 is 2 times 316. So 316 is Yeshu, the concept of Moshiach ben Yosef, suffering with us in exile, which becomes the throne upon which King David sits when we reveal him in truth. And then we've also got Chodesh B'Chodsho, of the new moon in its renewal. That also comes to 632. So we can see again, concept of Moshiach ben David related to the moon. Plus 74 ordinally. 706. What have we got here? So I've put 632 is 2 times 316, which is Yeshu. 74 is 2 times 37, which is also the ordinal of Yeshu. So 2 times the ordinal of Yeshu. So Yeshu, Moshiach ben Yosef, we know that even though this is to do with Moshiach ben David, it includes, that revelation does not appear until we understand the concept of Moshiach ben Yosef suffering with us in exile. So 316 plus 37 also comes to 353, whichever way you look is connected to this, of the new month in its renewal. We know that throne of David upon which Moshiach ben David sits upon is Yeshua, the suffering servant. His suffering in exile becomes the throne upon which King David sits. Okay, because why? Because his suffering in exile is rectifying our faith in Yoteva, which through that faith will bring about a revelation of Moshiach ben David. Okay. And tell the deeds of God. Okay. Okay, so and tell the deeds of God comes to 782, 134 ordinally, and that comes to 916. Right, and gazed at his, Adam's, 2 heels, and they shone so brightly that they are similar to 2 suns. That's from Bava Batra 58b. This is reference to, is a hidden coded reference to Moshiach. Okay, the 2 heels, probably Moshiach ben Yosef, Moshiach ben David. Okay, anyway, the overall is 2,155 plus 391. 391, by the way, is times 2 comes to 782. Okay, so there's a relationship between 391 and this one. But also there's a connection there, 134 times 19. The overall total is connected to the 134. So we see that this is very much connected. It's again, you're telling the deeds of God. What are the deeds of God? What is done through Moshiach. Okay, what is done through Moshiach to bring us about perfect faith in his name. Okay, we've also got the concept of face to face, panim el panim. Okay, that's 391 and 121. Okay, so 121 is alumim, sheaves. Together they come to 512. So again, we see a relationship here between all these concepts. I've just been doing some studies on face-to-face. I've got some brilliant teachings. It's so wonderful. That's, again, this concept of face-to-face brings about a unity between Moshe and Yeshua. Okay. And then we've got this desolation and bewilderment. So this is another way that Moshiach, Moshe and Yeshua are united. Right, because Shama is exactly the same letters as Moshe. Okay, and then we've got the Ushmama, comes to 391. Okay, together they come to 736. The ordinal of those two are 39 and 58, comes to 97. So add them together, they come to 833, which is the squared ordinal of Yeshua, 853. So again, we've got a connection between Moshe and Yeshua. And not only that, Arizal said in his commentary that Moshe would be in a state of desolation. Obviously, he used the word desolation because it's the name of, it could see from here, is exactly the same letters as Moshe. Mem Shin He, Moshe. Okay, just slightly different order. So Arizal said in his commentary on Bat Afghanan that Moshe would be in a state of desolation until it would be elevated up to the status of Moshiach. Okay, the word that he used, however, were Shamamu. Okay, so Shamamu is 386, which is exactly the same as Yeshua. Okay, so it was definitely giving an indication who Moshe would become. Okay, so there we've got it, and we can see that connection there very, very clearly between Moshe and Yeshua. And then we've got this concept. Where have I got this from then? Let me just think. Alright, it's the 134, isn't it? So we've got 134 here. I am the Lord who makes all these. I did a brilliant analysis on this particular verse, and really, really wonderful stuff in there. Absolutely wonderful stuff. It's I did it, and it was called Ramchal, and I think it was He Who Makes Peace and things like that. But a few teachings on that particular phrase from Isaiah, really worth a look at. So anyway, the ordinal of that comes to 134, which is exactly the same as and tell of the deeds of God. I am the Lord who makes all these. He brings peace between body and soul, basically. He brings peace between Israel and the nations. Okay, and it's a revelation of the concept of Moshiach that accomplishes that. Okay, and ultimately we see the connection between this, Moshiach ben Yosef, okay, plus, that's the regular, plus the ordinal, also comes to 682. He is using Moshiach ben Yosef in order to accomplish that, make peace. Okay, let's have a look. Also, what's this? 74 is 2 times 37, 2 times Yeshu. Don't know where I've got that from. I might have just accidentally put that on. And then we've got this this one as well. This is the plan that is planned. This is from Isaiah 14:26. Quite a curious verse, actually. Comes to 764 regularly, 134 ordinarily. So we can see, you know, there's a relationship there as well. And I've just put that there. This phrase here, this is the plan that is planned. May his name be erased in his memory. Yimach Shemo was Ichro. So we can see that Moshiach ben Yosef having his name erased was definitely part of a very divine plan. Okay. And then we've got this filling out of Yosef. Plus, that's the first filling out of Yosef. It comes to 86 ordinarily. and that's the spelling of Yosef, comes to 48. So together they come to 134. It's wherever you look, it's the concept of Moshiach ben Yosef. And then as well, we've got 458, so 2 times that is 916. And we know that this, we've just had the Hamet Or Katan Al-Loila, which is the moon, the luminary that is small in the night. Now we've got Hamet Or Agadol Hayom, the luminary that is great in the day. Okay, so that comes to 458, and that is referring to Moshiach ben Yosef. Okay, who is the son. Yet the chief butler did not remember Yosef, but forgot him. Okay, so that word forgot him comes to 355, and so does Pharaoh, who Yosef was subject to. He was sold into slavery in Egypt. And also 355 is 5 times 71, and 71 is Yonah, the sign of Moshiach. Okay. And then we've got this wonderful verse. And God created man in his image. In the image of God he created him, male and female he created them. So that comes to 2,816. And it's got an ordinal of 458. So we can see a direct link there between this and also here, and tell of the deeds. Okay, so we know that that's definitely related to the concept of Moshiach ben Yosef. What else have we got? Okay, so with that I will say shalom.